Understand it, go into it, to examine it. Give your heart and your mind with everything that you have to find out a way of living differently. But that depends on you and not somebody else. Because in this there is no teacher, no pupil, there is no leader, there is no guru. There is no master, no savior. You yourself are the teacher and the pupil. You are the master, you are the guru, you are the leader. You are everything. And to understand is to transform what is.
Okay, what are the inventors offering to the world? Unlimited free energy, anti-gravity, personal freedom from corporate control, freedom to create their own future, or our own future, time for growth in education, because when you're not working as much as you have to pay for expensive fuel costs, expensive electricity costs, expensive transportation costs, now you have much more time to work on yourself. And that means that you can read a book. You can pursue a hobby, you can climb a mountain, do whatever you want to do instead of being yoked to this financial treadmill that we have now. That's what free energy and anti-gravity will promise. So it is also a legacy for our children to be proud of, because if we take this step, this means that we'll be passing it to them, and they'll be thanking us for it. If we pass this up, and we're talking about 3 generations that have gone by since Nikola Tesla. If we pass it up this time, then I think that the civilization has some serious problems to deal with. But if we take the challenge up, we're looking at a civilization that has a chance to go to the stars. And what do the corporate governments offer? Economic slavery, totalitarianism, George Orwell's 1984, a bleak future on a dead world, ultimately extinction. But that's the downside. How do we find the corporate government's agenda? Research all references to treaties, secret or covert. Remember, we have to, this is a chess game. We actually have to be at least 2 moves in front of the people who want to neutralize this energy and this technology. We have to follow the money, because we know that there will be people who are financed to destroy any kind of alternative energy, including the conventional forms of solar, wind, geothermal. Already, they're suppressing geothermal. You hardly see that anymore. We need to find a real history for the motives. We think we know what they're doing, but do we really? We need to find out what their real agenda is. We also need to listen to the whistleblowers, because it's those whistleblowers that will tell us what that agenda is. How do we transition to a real civilization? Because what we have right now is not a real civilization. Return the control back to the people. Easier said than done. Uncorporatize government. In many nations, corporations are considered people. They have personhood. They have more rights than actual people do. We need to reverse that. We need to have it set up so that corporations have charters the way they did in the early days, where if a corporation does not serve the public interest, then they are dissolved. We need to make all those running for public office qualify. The way the system operates right now, we have people that have a hunger for power that are pursuing that office. and we let them do it. Well, I think we need to rethink that. We can't allow this to occur anymore. We can't allow sociopaths to be in public office. We create a body politic that integrates all beneficial technology into society. This means that we have either an agency or a non-government organization that looks at all the technology and then decides whether this has a positive impact on the future. If this were true, we would not have nuclear power today. We also need to return to a real currency, since the fiat currency system that we have now is basically set up to enrich the few at the expense of the many. And then there's the politics of energy. I actually have a whole other PowerPoint on that one, which actually becomes a little more radical. But who or what are the forces blocking it? Special interest groups, especially with the corporations that are involved in conventional energy systems. Corporate government. And this was asked of me before, why would the governments want to keep conventional energy in place? The reason is that if you can tax an expensive source of energy, then you can have that fraction of money going back into your coffers. So, in fact, the worst thing you can do is, the worst thing you could possibly do is have a green energy tax, because what this means is that you're going to actually cause an increase on the tax base, which is keeping the system in place. What we need to do is eliminate the taxes on the energy completely. Because this is what's keeping the system in place. Another problem is corporations with a vested interest in old technology. And these are the ones that are hand in hand with the government. I think many governments on the planet are set up like this. The banking interests are threatened by a new real economy. By real economy, that means actual goods, actual services. Another thing I need to mention is that if you have an unlimited amount of energy, now you can reverse the E equals mc squared equation. Because now you can turn energy back into matter. You can precipitate matter out of the vacuum. This means that the replicator technology that we see in Star Trek is possible. There are people working on this right now. These are quantum replicators, quantum 3D printers. The 3D printers that we see right now are only the beginning. The 3D printers that we're going to have will actually print in atoms. So that means that you'll actually be able to, and I predict the first thing that's going to happen is people are going to be filling up their rooms with diamonds, rubies, sapphires, and bricks of gold. That's just human nature. That's going to happen. But after that, and after the economy collapses as a result of that, then we're going to realize that the only thing that's worth value, the only thing that has value is human creativity. We can't duplicate that. We can't replicate it. So this is something that our new economy will actually value, is human creativity. Because right now, that doesn't have value. And this is the world that we have.